Hi, and welcome to JD's Longbox. I'm your host, JD. For this episode, we're taking a look at Understanding Comics, The Invisible Art by Scott McCloud, published in 1993 by William Morrow, HarperCollins Publishing. Scott McCloud lays out a textbook on the medium of comics, but instead of dense prose, he illustrates his ideas in a slick black and white graphic novel. He starts with a history of sequential art, not the first comic books that arose in the late 1800s, but going all the way back to the Mixtec pictograms, the Bayer tapestry, and Egyptian hieroglyphs. In an early chapter, he discusses how your brain can turn two dots in a line into a face. Any two dots in a line. Thanks to this pareidolia effect, the less detailed and more cartoony a face is, the less it looks like a specific person and can instead stand in for any person. This is why more cartoony characters are more accessible to a wider audience. This leads into iconography as a shorthand for large ideas. He spends chapters explaining that words and pictures work together in comics to present iconic ideas. In his endeavor to reveal all the ways that an artist can convey meaning from images, McCloud hits on many of the criteria that I use for judging a comic book, such as pacing, line weight, and storytelling. Scott covers pacing by showing the same story told 3 times, each with less panels to illustrate the subjective but necessary choice a storyteller has to decide: how much of the story to tell. In another section, he shows with a series of static shots how time can seem to stand still, or even how the shapes or length of a panel can give a sense of time. He further explains that while every panel is presented as a moment in time, they can show a passage of time across the panel. And the most important aspect of comics, what happens between the gutters, the gap between panels, the place where the reader's imagination fills in the action and meaning. This space makes comics into an interactive media. He covers line weight and style, explaining how the inked line can be strong, severe, gentle, savage, or unstable. And each artist's line work contributes to the storytelling, from dangerous criminals to childish whimsy, or from dynamic heroism to the aggressive extreme, or to sheer madness. In a brief chapter on color, without getting into color theory per se, McCloud explains the power that color has to objectify the subjective, and why black and white comics can focus more on the idea, and remain the realms of the experimental and independent, while color comics, with their power to draw attention to shape, have for decades been the domain of bright-colored superheroes with stories that are physical and bombastic. Final take. Comics are not movies, and they're not just books with pictures, but they're a unique art form that compels the reader's imagination in ways that other media can't, while providing a canvas for artistic expression and many avenues of storytelling yet to be explored. Scott McCloud's Understanding Comics is a must-have for any comics writer, illustrator, or anyone interested in understanding the invisible language of comics. I really hope you liked this episode. Be sure to like and subscribe, and then check out some of my other videos. Till next time, I'm JD, and this box is closed.